Here's the instructional video for delirium. This is inspired by David Acker's Hofzinser's delusion. However, it's very different, as you'll see. You're going to start off, you're going to need, when I used it in the presentation, I have 3 deuces, the 2 of hearts, I have a duplicate 2 of hearts, and I have the queen of hearts and a duplicate queen of hearts. The initial setup is as such. 2 of hearts goes on top. Doesn't matter what the other order of the other 2s are. It's at the back, so to speak. Then a queen. So you're going to turn these over, and from the top you're going to have the 2 of hearts, and at the bottom the queen of hearts. On the bottom, you're going to have the queen goes on the bottom with the 2 of hearts above the card. That's the beginning. Now, the first thing we're going to learn is Louis Simonov's flippant move. And we're going to use this as a production for the 4 2s. Now, just to give an explanation of how the move works, if you have a pinky break below the top 4 cards, the 2s, this is all a matter of inertia and momentum. All my hand is going to do is drop down, and I'm going to do this kind of in slow motion. You can see that if I drop quickly, just by air pressure alone, the cards start to turn over. I went a little too quick there. Now, if you combine the dropping with moving your hand ever so slightly to the left, just a little bit to the left, then the cards will actually appear to just instantly turn over. Now, this is a knack, so you got to play with this. You want to just drop your hand very suddenly and just allow the cards to turn over. It's a knack, just like any, and you'll be able to get it. It's not a very difficult move. Just turn it over. Now, to begin, you're going to have a pinky break below the queen of hearts, 5th from the top, followed by a ring finger break above the 4 2s. And you can conceal this from above with having your right hand in biddle grip, so it's not too obvious if there's a break at the front. My cover for the move, for the Louis Simonov flippant move, is I'm actually going to just allow the cards on my ring finger to turn over. And I'm going to do that with cover of my arm. My arm goes in front as I do the move, so it looks like they just turn over. And keep your thumb on the left side of the pack so it doesn't stop them from moving, because if your thumb's on top, then they can't flip all the way over. So my thumb's on the left side, just a little snap, whoops, just a little snap, and they turn right over. At this point, I square them up, and I have my pinky break below the queen. That's going to facilitate stealing it in a moment. I push off the 2 of clubs, diamonds, spades, and now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert my fingers into the break and grab the 2 of hearts as one when it's actually 2 cards back to back. So just 1, 2, 3, 4 looks very casual. You simply lay the cards down. There's nothing to that. The lay down, don't rush it, just lay them right down, and the cards won't spread. Now, for the next portion, you're going to spread the cards out. I happen to use a lapel spread. It does not matter at all what you use. You spread the cards out, and normally I'll say, oh, let's have a selection picked out, but actually I say I'll pick it out instead. When I'm doing this spread is cover so that I can buckle the bottom 2 cards and establish a break above them. So an exposed view here is I'm buckling the bottom 2 cards and catching a pinky break. If you don't feel comfortable buckling the cards, feel free to just simply give a thumb count. 1, 2, catch a break. At this point, you're going to transfer the break over to your thumb. Kick over, do a swing cut, just like so, swing cut the top half. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 cards above the break and drop them out jogged on the half you just swing cut it over into your left hand. Drop them here. So all you're doing is dropping the 2 cards and bringing this packet back. So you've pushed 2 cards out as one. At speed, it's going to look just like this. Cutting over, dropping, moving back. At this point, you turn your right hand palm down and pivot the card out clockwise, using your middle finger as a pivot, and turn the double over, leaving it out jogged for about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. That way, when you push back in, you can push down with your forefinger, just like for a double lift, and establish a break below the queen. So the queen's been selected. At this point, turn the double over, deal off what they think is the queen, in reality, the duplicate 2 of hearts. Put the deck of cards away. You're all set. Now, assemble the 2s, all the deuces, but be careful here. Don't expose the fact that there's the face-down card. So just gather them up kind of cleanly, lift them up, and I tend to spread off 1, 2, 3, and I hold the last 2 cards as one, the 2 and the queen together. And I take those cards in mechanics grip and I insert them above the bottommost 2. And then I pinch from above the 2 so they can't move, so they won't spread apart. I give a tap on the queen, and I make a point of showing the 2. You really want a retention of vision here, as if the 2 is still here. In reality, you've got the duplicate there. Of course, they don't know that. I square it all up, and I'll usually like to do some sort of movement over the card so it's not too perfect. Because otherwise, if you just do it over here, it's really too perfect that they transpose. You want to do something that gives them some sort of out, where they think that this could have possibly, how did this happen? And at this point, you're going to do an Ascanio spread. Here's how that works. taking the packet from above in right hand biddle grip, using your left thumb, you're going to peel off the top card to your left. Okay? It's going to motion down to your left and then down. Okay? So just like this. Over, down. Your left fingers from underneath are going to put pressure, just ever so slight pressure, on the bottommost card, and your right hand is going to pull its cards to the right. And finally, your thumb, so you're at this point, your left middle finger from underneath is going to pull the bottom card out again. So what you have at this point is you should have in your right hand one of the twos with two cards. It's concealing the two of hearts, followed by the queen in the middle, and then the two of clubs is on top. So one more time from the top. Left thumb pulls the two down and over. Left middle finger's underneath. Pivot one card, two cards. That's an Ascanio spread. At speed, it just looks like you're just spreading the cards. Now, I pinch down between my thumb, middle, and forefinger from below. And at this point, I turn over to reveal the queen. And I'm going to pull the queen out, and I can maintain pressure so that the double card doesn't split, so that they still show flush. Pull it out, reveal the queen, snap my fingers, show the two of hearts, and if you want to end clean, just grab the double, pinch it, and you can just pick up all the cards, assemble all the cards, and you're all set to go. That's Delirium.